What's going on, guys? Welcome to another tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to create these really cool text prototypes using smart animates and masks in Figma. Let's go. So hit arm, create a rectangle, make the height 120 pixels, which is basically the same height as this text right here. So what I'll do, I'll duplicate this. So for one, I'll apply a gradient to it, and I'll use the same color as this background. You'll find out why a little bit. So I'll put these two inside one auto layers, call it line. Then apply this color here. Then do the same thing here and change the field to a gradient. Then I'll change the direction of these gradients for the faded part to be on the left. I'll also show you why in a little bit. It will all make sense when the whole thing comes together. Okay, now that we had that bit down, let's go ahead to the other parts. Next thing is I'll make the weight of this block to be the same weight of this text block. So I'll select this second rectangle and make it 1328 pixels wide. That's the second step. Then the next thing I'll do is I'll stack 4 of these together in another auto layout. So create an auto layout, you do the spacing to 0, create 2 more. Then what I'll do next is for each of these ones, I'll multiply them by 2. So just follow along. It will all make sense, I promise, when I put everything together. So hit width times 2. First of all, we should set all of these to hug, not fit. Then set this as well to hug. Okay, then we can go ahead to increase the width of this, multiply by 2. For the third one, multiply by 3. And for the fourth one, multiply by 4. Okay, we'll change the alignment of this to align left. Then this text block will create a frame around this. So we'll just hit Command Alt G and it creates a frame around this. So we'll just name this text block. The next thing we'll do is we'll take these strips of blocks or lines and put them inside the same frame, then align it to the left. After that, what we want to do next is to clip content. We don't want all that extra stuff showing all around it. Then we'll make this into a component. Command Alt K, text block. Then this component will make it into a variant. Add variant here. In this second variant of this component, what we'll do is this. We'll select these lines and align them to the left. Basically, just the opposite of what we did for the first one. Then we'll still move it to the right a bit more until we can see all the text. Okay, so now that we had that, what we need to do next is to animate between these two states. Select this first one, then drag this noodle from here to the second one. Okay, maybe I'll increase the space between them so you can see the connection between both of them. So I'll just add, okay, there is a layout already, so I'll increase this to 100. Right, so I'll just apply auto layouts. Now you have enough space to see me to the connection. Then I'll animate between both of them. I'll hit the prototype tab, then drag a noodle from the top one to the second state. change the trigger to after delaying. We can need this at 8 of milliseconds. You can change it to whatever you want to. So this is basically the amount of time from when the prototype plays to when the animation begins. Then smart animates, this is fine already. Then this is the key to getting smooth animations in Figma. So a lot of people use these ease settings. Ease is fine, but a much better way to get a very smooth animation with Figma is to use this slow. You can see how buttery smooth the animation is. So we can set the duration to maybe 3000 milliseconds. Maybe that's too much, but 2400. And this is because we want it to animate slowly. So to preview this animation, what we'll do is this. We'll make a duplicate of the first state, put it in a preview frame. Let's just draw a frame around it, and make that frame the same color as these lines that are over the text. So the color code is 444444. Okay, so we'll hit Shift Paste Bar to see how this animates. Now we can already see that this animates really cool. So let me make this preview window bigger so you can see the animation. I'll hit R for it to replay. Okay, this is really cool. This is really, really cool the way it is already. But I think we have a challenge. So we'll do some troubleshooting. Now we're supposed to fade. It's not supposed to be straight at the end. They are supposed to be a bit of a blur. So I'll just make a copy of this and bring it into an area where we can see better what's going on inside it. Now, the challenge is that this second part of it, where we applied this linear blur, we didn't fade it. So the opacity is still at 100. So I'll just make this part of it 0. Then I'll hit Command-Alt-C to copy the attributes of this particular shape. Then I'll select this, the second and the third, then hit Command-Alt-V, and all three of them now have this fade effect applied to them. Then the next thing I'll do is to replace both line objects in the two states with this new one that we just updated. So I selected the old one and I hit Command-Shift-V to paste this new one on top of the old one. Then I delete the old one. Hold Command-Shift-D, then delete the old one. Something you need to be careful about when prototyping in Figma is if the name of the objects are not the same in the two states, that prototype will fail. So you have to be careful about it because Figma has an automatic layer renaming system that can mess things up sometimes. So just something to keep in mind in case you have this issue in the future. So now let's preview it again and see what it looks like now. Awesome. Now over to the second approach. The second approach, which is basically just a mask applied over the text, that is what we're going to be looking at. So just like we did in the first one, I'll create a frame around this. I'll hold Command-Alt-G to put everything in one frame. Then I'll create a shape that's the same size as this frame. That is 1328 by 480. 1328 by 480. We'll name this mask. So I'll select this shape and move it behind the text. Then select the text as well and hit Command-Control-M to create a mask. Now, this is what we do next. So on the mask, we apply the gradient fill to it. It doesn't really matter what the color is. The opacity is the thing that matters most here. So for the first color on the gradient, we'll change the opacity to 0 and hit Enter. Actually, we want it to be the other way around, so we'll change the bottom one to 0 instead of the top one. That's the first step. So we'll move this up in little bits, and I'll show you why in the future. So in this first state, we'll drag the second part of it, which is at 0, we'll drag it up a bit more. Then we'll make this into a component, just like we did for the first one. Rename this into text block 2. Command Alt K to create a component. Then we'll go up here to add a variant. So just like we did on previous one, we'll add auto layout and increase the spacing between them to 100. Okay, now for the second state, we'll select this mask and go to the fill, then pull this down and this as well. So we want to have a really soft fade. So to achieve that, what we are doing basically is we're animating between the two masks, right? We want it to go from the first mask where it's not showing anything to the second where the mask gradually fades all the way down. The gradient on the mask fades all the way down to reveal the text. Okay, so like we did on the previous, we'll go to the prototype tab, drag this noodle or connector from the first state to the second. Trigger, we'll change this to after delay. And delay, we can limit at 800 milliseconds. And it's already as slow, and the duration is already set to 2400 milliseconds. So I'll copy the first variant, then go to our preview frame. I'll delete this first one and paste the second one. I'll just align it to the center. Then we click this and hit Shift Spacebar to preview. And that is the mask effect we're looking for.
So if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with someone you think might also like to watch this. See you on the next one. Peace.